Cool, guys. I guess let's start our second edition of Generative Expo. So, hi, guys. I am Sayyam. So, I'm the co-founder of Wyse. So, Wyse is organizing this second edition after a great success of the first edition of our Generative Expo. So, I quickly explain like what we are building at Wyse. I'm sure everyone over here, I guess that we are around 35 participants already, and many more would be joining during the next 15-20 minutes. So everyone over here, I'm sure, would have faced some professional problem in your professional journeys, any doubts, or sometimes it could be about warm introductions or getting a referral, or maybe any expert advice on your current projects. So we always are limited with our own personal network or slow one-to-one networking platforms currently in the market. So at Wyse, we are changing the entire networking spectrum and making it more fast and making it more democratized without any concepts of connection request, waiting for the replies, searching for the people, discovering the relevant person who might reply to your request. So we start with building communities of your common interest, and with your shared goals, we bring in a collective of peoples who share a very strong common bond, so that you don't have to wait for any replies or any requests to be sent to the users. Your network automatically gets expanded when you become a part of a community. So we are already live on Play Store and App Store. We already have 2000 plus members in our community on the app. And apart from app, we are also running 300 plus communities on WhatsApp as well in different domains. Generative AI being the most active and a most useful community which we have created so far on WhatsApp. And very soon we are transitioning it to our platform also, because there's a limit on WhatsApp. There are multiple limits and multiple restrictions on WhatsApp to run a community. It's not a professional community platform. So that's what we are building at Wyse, and I hope everyone over here would give it a try and pass on genuine feedback to us in the community, or you can also find my number in that group, so you can directly pass on the feedback from there. And now let's move on to introduce our speakers for this event. So we have Siddharth from Beatoven. He is the co-founder and CTO at Beatoven. Beatoven is a music creator tool for content creators. So he comes from Music Technology Group. He is an alumni of Music Technology Group, UPF, from Barcelona, Spain. And also he did his bachelor's from IIIT Hyderabad. So he comes with a great expertise in music technology and has worked in different startups across audio signal processing, machine learning and deep learning, and generative AI in his past work experience. So at Beatoven, he is currently leading the tech side since May 2021. He was a founder in residence at Entrepreneur First and a top audio tech developer at Kubrick. He also worked as a music tech researcher and a freelance developer. And I hope these all experience brings in a lot for Beatoven and what he is trying to revolutionize for the audio industry through AI. And what is Beatoven? So imagine this, guys, imagine this, you have a story to tell, and it's a captivating video or maybe a engaging podcast, a moment that you want to share with the world, but something that can elevate your storytelling or maybe make that experience unforgettable for your audience is music. Adding a music to your story will make it unforgettable, and therein Beatoven comes in the play. It's an application that creates customizable royalty-free music that will help you seamlessly create your narrative, enhance your content, and make it more popular in your audience. So that's a quick intro about Beatoven and Siddharth, who is the CTO. So I will be handing it over to Siddharth to give his inspiring thoughts about his journey so far, and would also keep the forum open to keep flowing the questions in the chat, guys. So that we have a free flowing session, not a like only one-sided conversation, not a monologue, but it should be a two-way conversation. And happy to switch on, like happy to see you guys on video as well. So guys, please switch on the videos, unmute yourself to speak anything or put up any questions in the chat. So let's start. So thanks, Siddharth. So over to you.
Hi, thanks, Sam, for that introduction. And I'll just share my screen and start with that. Nice to meet the community here. I'm attending the call for the first time. So happy to be here, happy to be part of the community, and happy to answer any questions. Just give me a Yeah, can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll start. Hi, we are Beatoven. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Beatoven, and we have been building this for around 2 years now. What is it for? It's basically a music creation platform, an AI-powered music creation platform specifically for the use cases of podcasts, videos, gaming, AI art, wherever you need background music for your piece of content. You can come on to B2 create your own tune. And for text, you all know that there is GPT, generative pre-trained transformers. So there's Chat GPT, there is BARD, there are a lot of other tools built on top of the same technology, which is GPT, with some tweaks and modifications on top of it. For image, the most successful model till date has been stable diffusion models or latent diffusion models. So these are the foundation of something like DALI or Midjourney. So these are very successful in doing text to image generation, music, image in painting, image out painting, or image to image, or image plus text to image generation. For music, there have been a couple of attempts, but no clear winner as of yet. Because music, why is it so? Because music is a much more challenging space where, and you cannot just scrape the internet like you have done in, or like the big tech has done in image and text. So with music, there is a huge copyright law, which is very enforceable. So big labels own almost 80% of the musical back catalogs. So most of the data is owned by these three major labels, which is Universal, Sony, and Warner Music. So that's why it's very, very hard to build in this space because first of all, we'll have to collect that much amount of data to build these large language models or large models with billions of parameters. Why is it needed? For us, we started with the hypothesis that there are these millions of content creators out there who are looking for background music. Ideally, they want some copyrighted form of music, but which they, of course, cannot use because of copyright infringement issues. They'll be sued, they won't be able to monetize on their content. Hence, they need a second alternative or whatever second best music is there, which for which they don't have to pay any kind of royalties or don't have to take an explicit license for the same. So for these professional content creators, we have built out Beatoven so they can create their own tracks. They can download the track, use it in their content. We give them a perpetual license for using that piece of music, which they can like show up whenever they get a copyright claim. Here I'll break off to show a quick demo. Just a second. Yeah. So I'll start by creating a new track. This is the Beatoven workspace. So I have a lot of projects here, but once you sign in, you'll get a new page with just this plus symbol. You can click on this plus symbol. You can create a title for the track. You can create enter the duration, however long you want it to be, and you can input your tempo, so slow, medium, or fast. Then you can select out of one out of these n number of genres out there. I think I'll have to share some as well. Yeah. So you can preview these genres if you don't know what they mean. So if ambient or indie or electronic. So let's say go with maybe a pop track. And then you have these 16 different moods that you can choose from. So starting from motivational to cheerful to dreamy. So let's say we select dreamy here. It takes around 10 to 30 seconds for creating, since this is a longer track, so maybe around 20 to 30 seconds for generating one alternate option. And then we give like 4 different options, which are still loading. So it composes them in the background. Meanwhile, I'll just play this one. So yeah, it it generates a dynamic enough track for 2.5 minutes in the dreamy mood. Then we have some interesting features like you can create sections of different moods. So you can go from dreamy to joyful to inspirational, and then you have to click compose to for them to take effect, and it will generate a coherent sounding piece of music between those 3 moods. That's done keeping in mind some longer form content, wherein like something like a 15-minute video won't necessarily have be just one mood throughout. It would have like multiple moods, and hence this feature. Then you can also lock in certain sections, the ones we created just now. So the ones you like, you can lock them. You can recompose the other ones, similar to image in painting or something. You have some alternative tracks. You can mute or unmute certain other instruments. So all of these features we provide for because each of the creator have a vision of their own for their piece of content and how they want the music to flow within that piece of content. So we give a lot of customizability features. I'll just play this one. So you can see it flows freely from dreamy to joyful, makes sense musically as well. This is one part of our tool. And the second thing, as you can see here, add video or podcast. So if you add a video or podcast, you get, can you see the video screen with the video?
Yes, Siddharth, we are able to see.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So once you upload a video, it analyzes that piece of video, tries to match all of the rhythms and happenings in the music with that whatever is happening in the within the scene or within the video. So I'll just play this one as well. It's just a 30-second clip. Oh.
Please play button.
कॉर्नर में डालिए भैया नीचे नीचे कॉर्नर दैट कॉर्नर हाँ से रहती
So it detects those scene changes. It detects all of these movements or even like smaller short shifts and matches the rhythm and mood according to all of that, all of what is happening inside the video. So yeah, we basically simplify music creation, give you customizability and control over your music. And this is again the supervised thing, wherein we analyze the video for scene changes, for tempo, and also for moods within that particular scene. Now, why is data important and hard to build, especially with music? So there are freely available music datasets like Free Music Archive or Million Song Dataset, but you cannot use them for commercial applications. You can use them freely for research. Also, some of them just provide only the metadata and not even the audio files. So you cannot do any kind of audio analysis over them. So how we went about building Beatoven is like from day zero, we have been collecting or sourcing our own data sets, which means we have worked with 300 plus musicians over the past 2 years now. And we kind of pay them per commission basis or per music piece. So we commission them for making 100 samples for us or 100 musical loops for us. Or 200 musical loops for us and pay them upfront 50% at the time of agreement, signing the agreement, and 50% at the time of them delivering us the samples. So we have, till date, we have accumulated over 80,000 such samples, working with 300 plus musicians. We focus heavily on regional music because that's where our core strength lies in. My co-founder Mansoor has been is a part of Indore, Gwalior, Dharwad, Gharana, and which means basically he has been his family has been in music for past 7 generations, and he has built out a pretty amazing network of expert musicians, regional musicians specifically. So we have been sourcing music from them as well. One potential bias that we foresee coming in is for genres like hip hop or rock or like some of the more Western focused genres. Since we are sourcing all of these as well from Indian subcontinent musicians, there could be that Indianness even in hip hop or even in certain other genres like electronic music or ambient music. So that's something we want to mitigate and want to work with some global musicians as well, just to mitigate that. And yeah, so like it's really important. We believe in building the companies ethically. We don't believe in scraping the data from the internet like some of the big tech have been doing. There has to be a license attached to any piece of content, be it writing, be it an image, be it music, or any kind of movie or audiovisual or multimodal art form. Which says like I consent for a large language model to be trained on my art, or I don't consent to for a large language model to be trained on my art. Here are like apart from Beatoven, what other approaches are there for generative music? So there are rule-based systems, there are GANs, there are variational autoencoders, there have been transformers, which are the most successful ones till date. So I'll play just some of these examples, not all. So I'll just play this RNN one. So this is trained on a MIDI dataset, which means it's a symbolic domain audio dataset, which is not as expressive, and you can hear that monotony or less expressive sound in this one, since it's trained on that kind of dataset. Sounds very robotic, very on time, which makes it less useful, I would say, but definitely more melodic. Then these are VAs, which I personally like a lot. These again are trained on a MIDI dataset, so hence again sound a little more robotic. But composition-wise, structure-wise, they are much better than GANs. This one is OpenAI's Jukebox, which was an audio domain model, transformer model, trained on copyrighted music, hence never released for commercial applications. But yeah, you can have a listen, go to their website, have a listen to some of their songs. this is music in the style of Beatles, which certainly sound like it, but also looks like they have like the model has just copied or plagiarized a lot of different segments of their parts. And this last one is the text to music models, which are the latest ones. Both Google, so actually three companies have released them till date. So Google is one, Meta is another one, and TikTok is the third one. Here is just a comparison of Meta's and Google's text to music models. So the right one is Google's music
exact prompts into music.
Here is the Meta one on the left. The prompt was lo-fi, slow BPM electro chill with organic samples, which was pretty accurate for the second one at least. Maybe not for the first one. But yeah, they're getting pretty good. So just the key takeaways, GenAI in music is here and it's evolving very, very fast. As you could see, just the difference between the text to music models and the earlier models. Sourcing licensed training data is a massive challenge in music. Training and inference costs are too huge for large language models and are like unbearable for an early stage startup like us, unless they are extremely well funded. The next point is quality is really, really good, but not comparable to humans yet. So it's good. What is it good for as in its current form? Firstly, good for experimentation, idea generation for musicians or for AI artists who wants to experiment a lot with some of these newer technologies, maybe use it as a sample in their music, or like some of the use case which they want to experiment with. Then good for background music use cases like what we do. So any kind of content needs a good background music. So there it can fit very well. And it's fun to play around with these newer technologies for curious users. Democratization of music creation is inevitable and it will definitely be on us very soon. Everybody would be able to create whatever kind of music they have in their mind in very easy, simplistic ways. Then multimodal ways will enable this democratization eventually. Some people think in terms of text. So text to music is already there. Some people think in terms of visual art. So visual art to music, which we have already built out. And like something similar. So multimodal ways of creating music will be the norm and not the exception eventually. And yeah, I'll like to open the stage for any questions that you guys have.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Saurabh. I'm a small business owner and I'm running a consultancy in which I'm like doing the marketing and content creation stuff for my clients. So I liked your idea. I saw your demo and I also moved on to your website over my screen and I was like looking at. So I would like to be a customer of your startup, to be honest. But when I look at it, how is it different from Sounddraw? Sounddraw IO, which is also a AI music generator.
Yeah. So Sounddraw is it's definitely like one of our closest competitors both in terms of tech as well as the use case. How is it different is basically it has like from what we have studied, from how much we have studied them and we know about them is they basically have some templates or they have basically some templates which they have manually curated. So they have packs of sounds which they show up on the main tool, and it's just switching on or off certain of these layers or stems. With us, we are a much more flexible system going forward. So as we have more and more samples, we can just plug them in and play. So it's much more easier from our side, much more variability and expression in terms of in terms of the diversity of music for those particular users. But yeah, sound role use case wise and like tech wise are pretty much similar to us.
Okay,
Hi,
so
can I
basically,
ask a question?
yeah.
Yeah, I see these music texts are there, like, they have that notation. Say for Western music, they have ampersand, lines, and Indian music also, they have some music texts. Is it a good idea to make somehow the machine generate, the algorithm generate sound based on those music text directions? Is it possible?
Right. So the ones I showed, like VAEs, variational autoencoders, and the other GAN-based approach. So those are based on piano roll or sheet music approach or a MIDI-based approach. So those are all symbolic domain representations of music, which doesn't include the timbral side of music. So whatever sound you want to add, that's up to the musician that's reading that particular sheet of music or reading that particular piece of piano roll or MIDI or playing that. So that's where it lacks express a little bit of expressivity, and also like it sounds a little bit robotic, monotonous once you generate just using that symbolic domain music. Of course, like if you are a musician who wants new kind of music and you can read that sheet music or piano roll, of course you can train it using image generation techniques rather than music generation techniques.
Like we train the musicians, young musicians, students, they'll be trained on the rag, tal, and all that, given in the written form. So they'll be training themselves by practice. So in the same way, we can have much of training of the algorithm, the neural network to generate possible.
Yeah, yeah. So there are already approaches out there. If you search for sheet music generation, you'll find some of them.
Okay, thank you.
And also, Siddharth, like a potential customer is just a query, but it may be relevant to your business as well. So when I look at the pricing, there is like a basic plan and then a pro plan. In the pro plan, I'm seeing that there is the highest time period which you offer to the users is like 60 minutes for 749 per month. So
Yeah.
like I'm an agency owner and I have to create a bunch of like content for my clients. So how can I like create more content, more than 60 minutes? Let's say I have to create a content, I have to create music for 10 hours a month. So how can I approach that from the same account? Or will I have to create like 10 accounts, 10 different accounts?
No. So you can approach us for an enterprise plan. So we can definitely go ahead with a custom plan for 10 hours or something, like whatever your requirement is.
Okay. So, but on the pro plan, it is only 60 minutes
Yes.
for one user at 749.
Yeah.
Okay.
Siddharth, I have a question. So how do you see Beatoven impacting the music industry in general in India? Because I'm sure like so far you have a huge user base. So you might be facing some concerns from the people that your tool is a potential loss for the human creativity, the music that is being created by humans. You are competing with that. So like, have you like envisioned anything? How do you enter into the music industry in general?
Sure. So first off, like music industry still remains the supply side of Beatoven. So we work with, like as I mentioned already, like we work with 300 plus. We have already worked with 300 plus musicians and plan to work with many more. And we have like generated a lot of income for those artists, like even during the COVID times when there was no live music, or when like these are independent artists who are not earning money through streaming. They only earned usually through live music, which was stopped completely during COVID. So we have been generating revenue for them. So it's an additional revenue source. And eventually we also want to do revenue share. As we grow big, these artists should also grow big with us. They should get a piece of the pie, whatever we are making or whatever we are generating in the economy.
Got it. Kind of a Spotify model.
Yes.
Got it. That's great.
Hey, hi, Siddharth. This is Soham. So I'm a data science practitioner as well as a classical musician myself. So I'm very curious to know about the tech that actually powers this type of generative AI. So could you please throw some light on it? As in, how do you leverage these music samples that you are collecting from artists, and what type of models you're training on top of that?
Yeah, so these are just very small snippets of songs that we source from the artist. So it could be just a 20-second piano riff or a 10-second guitar melody or something of that sort, or a percussion, just a single percussion loop, which goes on for 8 bars or something. So now we have a data set of, like, let's say 70,000 samples, which are tagged by genre and mood. And now, how do we create music based on the user's requirement? So we have our proprietary algorithm, which is a mix of like HMMs to like simple deep learning networks, like neural networks, and also using transformers to generate newer variations of these samples. So like, and of course, a lot of signal processing involved with it. So it's mostly a sample-based music generation system. But those samples could be like synthetically or manually created by the artists.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Siddharth, also, sorry if it is not relevant, but I'm a business guy, so I would like to raise this query. When I look at the pro plan for the monthly use, there is like 30 minutes for 319, and then there is 60 minutes for 749. So I think 60 minutes should be around 638 or 640. So why are you charging extra for like 60 minutes?
Right. So, like, we actually started monetization very, very recently. These are just like some starting experiments that we have been running on, and like, yeah, we'll definitely tweak those pricing going forward. We have some pro features in mind for the higher plans, which we'll introduce. Hence, that extra bit of pricing there already.
And also, I would like to ask, you guys are pre-revenue or you guys are making any revenue?
So we are kind of pre-revenue. As I said, like we just recently started our monetization experiments, like 15, 20 days back. So yeah, you can call us pre-revenue.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Anjanelu. I have a question.
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah.
My question is like, you guys have trained a language model on top of this music, right? Do you see emergent properties, like emergent tones, and how you attribute it to the musicians and pay them, give royalty? Do you face the things?
So as I mentioned, like it's very difficult to build a large language model for any startup unless like they are very massively funded. So we don't build large language models. We have smaller models for doing different parts of the composition. So structure is a different model. Then composition, just layering is a different model. Just continuing for as long as you want is a different model. And that's it. Since it's a sample-based approach, we can attribute every sample to a particular artist, and we know like what samples are going into a particular composition. So attribution is easy with this way. Generating newer pieces of music, very like novel pieces of music, it's slightly more tougher to do with our kind of technology, since our basic unit is 10 to 20 seconds long, which are generated or created by the artists themselves. It's not a note level wherein you can generate like a lot of new novel things.
Cool, guys. I guess in the interest of time, we'll move forward. So thanks, Siddharth, for your inspiring thoughts and this really, really interesting product. I really liked it. And
Thanks.
so moving on next, So we have 2 product showcases. So before that, I'll quickly give the stage to Priyank. So if Priyank, you can quickly give the introduction about the workshop and the activity that we have thought of, and share the drive link so that people can generate and start creating music, some interesting music, and share it with you guys as well. Like just for 2-3 minutes, then we can start with the showcases.
Awesome. Yes. Siddharth is am I audible?
Yeah, Priyank, you're audible.
Yeah. So Siddharth has covered pretty much every aspect of Beatoven, how it has to be used, and there are also options to reach out to us in case you guys have any requests or are facing any problems. What I would like to leave the audience with is that there are a lot of use cases we have witnessed with Beatoven, from videos to podcasts to games. Beatoven has been used for a lot of creative material out there. So if you are working in marketing, if you have your own brand that you want to promote with commercials, if you're creating your own game, if you are planning on launching a new podcast, Beatoven will help you become faster and more creative, and it will provide you all the options that you require to get the type of music that you need. I have already dropped a Google Drive link where you can drop in all your tracks, and we will be willing to give out some resources and give a social media shout out to you if you tag us in any of your creations. Let me share the Google Drive link here again, and if you are out of ideas, I would like to share those ideas once again. These ideas will act as nudges or suggestions for you in case you are not able to think of anything right now to create music for. If you are a creator who produces videos for reviewing electronics, and whether you are working in news broadcasting or journalism, or you just want to create a special birthday video for someone in your family, you can create all that music with Beatoven and more. So let me share that message once again.
Thanks, Priyank.
Yeah, sure.
So next on the stage, we have Meghana. So Meghana is the co-founder of GoCodeo.ai. That is a automated AI-driven software testing product, wherein you can enter your, you can establish and integrate your product and get the testing automated. So getting the QA team of offboarded to GoCodeo with Meghana. So she comes with an extensive experience in B2B sales and marketing. She has been in running monetization teams at Google, ShareChat, ByteDance, which is a parent company of TikTok. She is accompanied by Jatin. Jatin is also the co-founder, and he is a IIT Kanpur graduate who comes with 10 plus years of experience in technology, and he has also built multiple startups starting from 0 to 1. And he leads the engineering team at GoCodeo. So over to you, Meghana, if you can quickly give an introduction and demo and showcase your product, and maybe a few of the folks over here can also use it for their own testing purpose. And happy to take up questions for Meghana as well in the chat during the demo.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sayam, for that beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Meghana Jagdish, and I handle everything business, and I'm the CEO at GoCodeo AI. We are a platform that is completely automating the process of software testing using AI, and we are currently live with the process of unit testing, and we'll be doing multiple more testing with AI. So I believe that there are a lot of software developers here on board with us on this particular call. Of course, we have the founders and the CTOs. So all of us might agree with one point where software testing is extremely crucial for a company to deliver a bug-free and an error-free product To give you an insight, when we did our research, we went on to kind of interacting with more than 300 CTOs and engineering heads when we were discussing this problem. And every time we spoke to these folks, they said that speed is always prioritized when it comes to development rather than the quality. So after which the technical debt kind of comes into picture, and then solving that is a very big of a headache. Trillions of dollars are being spent in the market today because of this reason. And in the US alone, we saw that it was about $2 trillion that they spent on softwares in the year 2020. So this is something that we are trying to address at GoCodeo. I have a very small video which will showcase what we are doing right now as a demo video, after which I would want to have an interactive session with the audience where they can ask me any kind of a question, and we are open to kind of answering it with respect to GoCodeo. Let me just quickly share the screen. Sayam, I'm facing a little bit of a difficulty when it comes to screen share. Could you please help me out with that?
Now I guess I have already enabled it for all the participants.
Yes, sorry.
Is it available now?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The screen visible. Yeah. Let's go ahead and install. Please tell me if the audio is also present.
It's audible. It's audible for me.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's audible for us.
And install GoCodeo to generate unit tests on VS Code. I'm searching GoCodeo in the search bar of VS Code, and I have installed the plugin. After you install, you can see GoCodeo over here, and you can also see the GoCodeo logo over here. I'm quickly selecting a Python file to generate the unit tests, main.py. This particular file has a lot of functions which are complicated, and they have a lot of dependencies with respect to other functions as well. You can see that this is a lengthy, complex code. Once the code is analyzed by our machine, it automatically identifies the eligible functions for unit testing, and it gives you this button over here where you can generate the tests. Apart from that, you can also use GoCodeo scanner to identify all the eligible functions for unit testing. You can either click any of these buttons over here, or you can directly click the button to generate unit tests on the right-hand side of your VS Code. The machine is now analyzing the entire code base, trying to figure out the imports. That is what it has done. And after which we have the unit tests that have been generated with the context of the entire code base. We also identify the type of test case that has been generated by GoCodeo. This ensures that a developer will have an easier understanding of what are the different types of test cases that have been generated. And not only that, with the context of the entire code base, the code coverage achieved by a GoCodeo is extremely high because the dependencies of all of these functions have been thoroughly analyzed, and then the unit tests have been generated. You can see that the machine continuously gives various types of test cases to ensure that the code coverage is maximum, and it needs minimum tweaking before it is made runnable. So the tests have been generated. You can now easily go ahead and save this as a file. I'll be doing that. You just have to click on Save as a File button, and you have this as a file. All of these test cases can also be copied with a click of a button. And apart from that, we also have a feedback button. In case of positive feedback, click on the yes. In case of negative feedback, click no. If you need any further support, you can join our Discord channel and you can talk to us directly. And without signing in, you can use GoCodeo up to a certain limit, after which you'll have to sign in with Google or GitHub account to get free GC tokens and continue using GoCodeo. So that's a fairly simple, demo of what we have built at GoCodeo. So what we aim to achieve is that any software that gets rolled out in the market, it should definitely be tested, and it should have zero bugs is something that we aim to do at GoCodeo. One of the use cases that we try to kind of bring onto the table is with respect to helping software developers and as individuals itself on VS Code. And we also have an enterprise plan where enterprises can collaborate with us, wherein we do an in-premise solution for enterprises, to ensure security and to ensure that the model is advanced and the results are very highly generated. When it comes to individual developers as well, they can go ahead and install our plugin as mentioned in the demo, and they can go ahead and test out their code. So that's what we have built. A lot of developers from 40 plus countries have been using GoCodeo to test out their code, release quality code. That's something that we have done until now, and we're also executing pilots with companies, software companies here in India as well as Singapore. So that's where we are. I'm open to questions. I wanted to be very interactive. So if you have any questions on the technology front, I would be more than happy to address it.
Hi, Meghana. This is Madhav here. I actually come from testing background. I am a product manager at Lambda Test. So my question is actually, although we are a testing company, even our developers don't write a lot of unit tests. Right. And from my experience, I've seen that all the other places wherever I've worked, this is a very big challenge. The unit tests are not written, and then of course the quality suffers. So I understand that there's a huge market for this, but the point is that if it is not happening right now, how big are you seeing the market for this, and what is the potential? Because so far we have come along the way without unit test being one of the major things, right? And we have, I would not say we have done really well, but we have done okay-ish, right? So just wanted to see that what will this change bring in, and of course also the market. I just wanted to check how big the market is.
Sure, Madhav. Yes, of course, we do understand that unit test has been suppressed all this while because of the time constraints and prioritization factors. And that's the reason why I said that, people do not prioritize unit testing, even though it is a mandatory thing to do over here in India, at least. So our major focus is going to be the US to kickstart with, and our users, maximum number of users come from the US, because over there it is quite a bit of a mandatory for companies to follow unit testing as a process. They do not, release code without testing the code prior to kind of a release, right? So that's something that we have in our mind. When it comes to the Indian context, I would say right now with the innovations in code generation tools, right, like a Copilot or maybe a Replit or a Tab9, we see that code generation is becoming an easier task. But without testing these codes, I don't think any of these Indian companies would implement the code in their particular product, because you do not know if the machine has generated a right set of code or not. So with that kind of an innovation happening with respect to code generation itself, testing becomes extremely crucial, and people have started realizing it soon.
Got it. Not to snatch away the time from others, just one follow-up. So now that GitHub Copilot is there, and there are several other ways where you can generate the code, how difficult will it be for them to also generate the unit test as well? And how will that impact your business?
That's a great question, actually. We did a set of exercises as well, Madhav, when it comes to understanding the timelines of generating a unit test on a Copilot or maybe a ChatGPT or any of these places. The very first thing that we saw is that writing it manually is much convenient instead of trying and error. There's a lot of trial and error when it comes to prompts, right? So that is something that we quickly realized, and it took much more time for us to tweak those results and then make it runnable. Whereas on a GoCodeo, since we understand the entire context of your code, we are literally mirroring your language when it comes to the tests that have been generated. We are not generating a generic unit test. It would be mirroring your style of coding. That's one. And second, with respect to the entire process of GoCodeo's picture, the product picture, right? We are looking at doing an end-to-end workflow alignment for the testing space. We are not just looking at generating the tests. We are looking at making it runnable. We are making it, making an analytical dashboard so that people can understand where exactly the errors are. We're also looking at correcting the code wherever there's a false bug or whenever there's a false test. We want to rectify it and ensure that the code has been rectified as well. So that's the goal over here. We are just not a generation company, but we are a workflow assistance company.
Okay, thank you.
I think there are some chat questions as well. Siam, if you could please help me with that.
I guess you can take up the chat questions. So Venkat is having a question. Do you guys have a PyCharm plugin?
Jatin, why don't you go ahead and take those up?
Just have answer on the chat. So yeah, we are in the process of launching the PyCharm plugin. We are making it. It's in development.
What are the current languages which are supported?
Current languages are Python and JavaScript and TypeScript.
Okay. Do you have something in pipeline for Java also?
Yes, we have in pipeline. So right now we are main focus on Python and JavaScript, but in like 6 months we are targeting Java also.
So the entire goal over here is to kind of take the analysis and learning from one language and then replicate it for multiple other coding languages, because with one deep learning analysis of a particular language, we'll be able to replicate it to a similar set of languages. So that's what we are trying to do. The technology right now is fairly complex when it comes to understanding the code and analyzing the code and then giving out the relevant tests with high code coverage. The entire demo that I did right now, that was done for a code that we picked up from AutoGPT. It's a fairly complex code from AutoGPT, and since it is an open source, we'll probably send it back to them and have them merge it on the open source itself. We recently did one merger with AutoGPT as well as a unit test exercise. I have another question over here. Do you store the user code somewhere? How do you analyze code? Okay, Akshat. So with respect to the code storage, we do not have any of the users' code being stored on GoCodeo servers. We ensure that the code is encrypted. And with respect to the in-premise solutions that I was talking about for enterprises, that will be deployed on your server itself, which means the security is not at all a concern. Talking about how do you analyze the code, we go line by line. It's just similar to how a human would do it, but here we have deployed an AI to kind of go through every single line of code, understand what exactly the dependencies are. We bring out the dependency from elsewhere and then try and map it out. And after which we kind of go about testing your entire code base. Right now, we are available for a file. Going forward, we'll also be looking at full repo testing using GoCodeo AI. Sorry, I think somebody else from the team kind of answered the question. Does it run on device or on cloud? It would be a device, running activities, what I would say. It would be something similar to a CI/CD tool, like a Jerkins.
Yeah, hi Meghana, Prabhat here. I would like to know if this code base can be helpful for the framework like Python, Django, or maybe Flask or similar kind of domain, because Python and Django, there are a lot of functions are talking to each other, you can say. So how exactly your code base can help us? Also, I just wanted to understand one more thing in the term of security. As nowadays, most of developer, they keep the some kind of secret key, access key in the code itself. How exactly your system are actually managing that kind of information as well? Especially if you come to any organization and all, the biggest fear is nowadays any organization, they don't want to share the code. Even ChatGPT, just take an example. Many organizations have blocked ChatGPT in the organization itself just to avoid code sharing. And of course, like the way ChatGPT has their own model, the company fear the model may fear all of the codes and all. How exactly your company are actually looking after that part, apart from the solution that you have talked about, like on-prem solution? Because most of the company, like they either they won't prefer, or maybe there were some financial constraint and all, they won't go for on-prem solution as well, please.
Understood. So I would let Jatin answer the first question with respect to the frameworks, and then I'll take up the security question next. Jatin.
So, hi. So in terms of framework, yes, we are like we have done an exercise with one enterprise client for Django framework, and we were able to generate accurate results for them. Yes, so we can solve for your problem for the Django frameworks. And coming to the second question, I will just take it up the first part, right? So in terms of that security person, right? So we are looking for going forward, we are looking for a solution by which like no code of yours will go outside your system only. So we are looking for a solution like private GPT, in which like we will deploy the open source LLM on your server, by which like all the data will be on your system only.
So I hope that answered the question. I would just add to it. So right now we do not just depend on one LLM, right? We are not leveraging just one open source LLM or any of the LLMs that are available in the market. We are experimenting with multiple LLMs because each and every LLM has its own positives. When it comes to the kind of features that they have, the kind of learnings that they have. So we are also looking at open source LLMs because security, of course, is one of the biggest concerns of enterprises, and we surely understand that. For these enterprises, we will be giving a white label solution along with the open source LLM so that it can be deployed on their own server so that the code doesn't escape their server. So that's the plan that we have at GoCodeo to tackle security. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Hi, Meghana. This is Saurabh.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Are you open for any kind of business questions?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah. You said that you have customers in like more than 40 countries. So I would like to know what is the customer retention rate on a monthly basis?
Understood. So we have done a weekly analysis because that's much more relevant for us right now because we recently launched it out, and then weekly metrics matter to us the most. So we have a week over week retention rate of 50%, and we plan to kind of focus more on retaining the existing customers to a significant level. So right now it's about 50%.
Also, I would like to know what are the customer feedback on this product?
We do have a lot of feedback flowing in from the developers itself, and I would be more than happy to kind of show it to you. You can join our Discord. There's a lot of chat happening there. But having said that, we have solved for a problem that has been there in the market for an extreme period of time, right? It's been there for a very long time, and every software developer relates to what we are saying. So they do feel that this is a very right problem to target, and the approach to solving this is also the right one. Having said that, right now we are at an MVP stage. We want to kind of go about making an MSP. That's the goal, and that's where my user will benefit from the product at most. So that's the entire focus of GoCodeo right now. We are making an MSP covering the entire workflow of unit testing.
Okay, thank you. But let's say on a scale of 5, how would you rate this product?
For unit testing alone, I would rate it at a 4.5 because a lot of users have given us feedback, right? And we see that the average rating for the code coverage itself is about 8 to 9 because we are achieving really good code coverage using the tool. So that is one. But there are requests when it comes to much more features that needs to be added so that they can use it without any intervention. So we need to keep on giving back to the community. So we are very fast followers. We use latest technologies that is out there in the market. We have the leverage and we have I think the entire priority of the organization is to kind of move as fast as possible, implementing the latest technologies that are available in the market. So that's something that we have been doing, and hence the rating is pretty high when it comes to unit testing.
That's amazing. Yeah, when I was looking at your website over my screen, I can see that there is an individual plan and there is an enterprise plan. So when it comes to your customers, you said that you have customers in like 40 plus countries. So I would like to know, do you have any customers from like using the enterprise plan? And if yes, then what is like ratio between the individual plan and enterprise plan?
Individuals are the ones that we targeted previously, and that was our focus. We wanted to go after individual developers because that was a valuable feedback group for us. And that's what we did at 40 plus countries. Those are the individual developers that have used our product, right? Talking about enterprise plans, that is something that we have kickstarted 2 months ago, and we are executing pilots from companies in the US, in Singapore, and in India. Having said that, they are not our customers yet. They are still piloting, and once the pilots are done, that is when we'll be looking at a long-term partnership with these folks.
Okay, thank you, Meghana.
Yeah. So that was it from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me. I'll be dropping my email in the chat. Please write to me. We can talk. And if you have any enterprise partnership requests, we are open to do a pilot and understand your use case as well. So do let me know. Sayam, that was it from our side.
Sure, Meghana. Thank you so much. Thanks, Meghana. Thanks, Atin, for showcasing the automated testing product. I'm sure like there would be multiple folks who might be interested to try this out. So guys, so let's move on to the last showcase. That's also a very interesting product that Shubham is building. So is anyone, like, does anyone have a question? Cool. So Shubham, so he comes from Bits Pilani. He has a passion and a thrill to build in ML since like few years. He has been working at Amazon, and in the Amazon also specifically, he was working for Kindle content quality, and then he moved on to Disney Star for purely the content creation part. And now he is building StellarKast, which is focusing on leveraging generative AI to enhance your content creation. That can help you automate your marketing campaigns, create content for that, be it graphic content, video content, both. So I guess they are currently in building phase, and he'll be showcasing what he has built till now and how it could be useful for others. And he would be then taking up questions. So over to you, Shubham.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam. Am I visible, audible?
You are.
My co-founder Krisha has also joined us. He's a student at IIT Madras right now, and we are developing StellarKast together. Briefly about about the problem that we are trying to solve. So brands pour in a lot of money and effort and resources into their marketing campaigns and partnerships, but a lot of the times this money becomes a big problem for them, causing a lot of burn and not generating the ROI with it that they are looking that they were expecting. So this is the problem that we are trying to solve at StellarKast. And if we break down the problem to where things go wrong, there are three parts of it of the problem. One is failure at reaching the right people organically through the right ambassadors. Second is even if you reach them, even if you reach them, not being able to engage with them with the right message. And of course, even if engaging, the campaign not being crafted well enough to compel them to generate conversion. So these are the three. You may know yesterday. So these are the three problems, or part of the problems. Just talking about the branded content market, estimated to be around 20 billion in 2021. Yeah, and according to a survey by Impact Radius, 88% of publishers are driving at least some of their revenue from branded content. So to address this market and this problem, the solution that we are building at StellarKast aims to use generative AI for ambassador discovery, may it be influencers or brand ambassadors that are coming out of character universes like fictional characters. Partnership recommendations, what would be a good partnership for the brand or the product. Crafting a sharp messaging as a combination of the ambassador or the partnership between the content and the brand. And captivating campaign design. So as you could see, one of these is a campaign design that we crafted for Ford pickup truck, and the partnership that it had recommended was with Iron Man because it identified that the product's ethos of strength and durability align very well with that of the character. What we are looking to the business side of it, we are building Stellar Labs towards becoming an IP monetization engine for content studios, like a subscription offering where their own IPs they are able to provide to brand marketers searching through the tool. For the brand managers, an end-to-end content marketing tool that solves the hassles of this arena, and a discovery engine for influencers and ambassadors, which helps them unlock the potential of their influence. So now I'd like to take you through a brief demo of some of the parts that we are confident of at the moment. My co-founder Krisha is here. He'll be sharing his screen for a live demo. So I'll just stop sharing it. So this is the demo page. So we'll try influencer marketing first. And so let's try with a brand like an Adidas, an athletic apparel and footwear brand. So here's influencer suggestion that it's recommending to do a partnership with Virat. We are also looking to add an option of budgeting, and we are talking to influencers to collect data on that. The idea is we are very India focused with this right now, so hence the recommendations are this way. We are eventually looking to also generate images. We are working on that part right now, which is a combination of the brand product and the influencer that would appear here using Stable Diffusion. Let us try another example. The Lakme brand for cosmetic products, lipsticks, eyeliners, skincare cream. So what it does at the back end is it looks up, it first deconstructs the brand's ethos and tries to find the right match basis the influencer or ambassador's ethos, their content, their popularity with the target group that the brand wishes to target. We are also looking to add like specific problems, like a text box for the specific problem that the brand is encountering at a particular point of time, so that we could also solve for that problem through the campaign. Also a messaging, what would be the correct messaging for the content that would be right with the particular ambassador. So this is for influencers and ambassadors. Let us show you another demo, this time with a character, a fictional character that could become a brand champion. So a lot of love that characters receive can also be tapped into for building a brand's positive image with with the right target group. So here we are trying LinkedIn, as we all know, a business and employment focused social media platform. Here's a result. This is a fictional character from a show called Pictures. It's a show about startup founders, and the lead character in that show being recommended with a recommendation score and a reasoning for why this particular recommendation. Let us now try a brand integration with a show, in which case you integrate the brand into the content storyline of a particular show. So let us give Alan a coaching institute that helps prepare students for college entrance exams. At the backend, we have built a database of shows. Yes, Quota Factory. It's a recommendation with a 95% recommendation score. Thank you, Prashai. So now taking this forward. That's us, and you can reach us to know more about the product, or if you'd like to demo the product for your particular brand, and we could solve for your use case particularly. And we are also in talks with some pilots with a few marketing teams at HDFC, and we are also talking to a few content studios like the Viral Fever, etc., to take this forward. Yeah. Questions, if any?
Shubham, there are already few questions in the chat. If you could take them up.
Sure. Yeah, Krishna has, I think, been answering this. Website domain, we are not live yet. Yeah, we are already in talks with Beatoven, Siddharth, and we spoke last week to use their API. We're waiting for them to provide the documentation for the same. Yeah, an email you can reach us at shubham8742@gmail.com. How well does it work on a complex project with many files and intertwined dependencies? I think this is for Codia. When you say fictional character, what does that mean? Because the character is a real life character. Okay, so fictional characters like animated characters are also fictional characters. Fictional character is any character created in a fictional storyline or a show. Unless you're giving low following, high interaction influencers, does it make a sense to use all this? Yeah, I think we are also looking to add a budget criteria here. So depending on nano influencers, micro influencers, macro, whatever you are looking, depending on your budget, it would recommend those. You can Google this. You can just Google this info right now. Of course, you can Google it, but what would be a good suggestion for your particular brand? You might go wrong with that. We also analyze the content of the influencer to see their ethos and how well they align with yours. There is other statistics like the engagement rate of their credibility, etc., which we also mine from which we have mined in our data. So yeah, I think an average Joe's Google, we could probably beat that.
Hi, Shubham.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Saurav here, and I actually asked the question in the chat that when you say that it is a fictional character, what does that mean? Because in the demo you showed that You are trying to generate a fictional character, but it showed a real life character. So yeah, that was my question.
Sorry, Naveen Bansal is a fictional character. Naveen Kasturia is the guy who plays it, is a real person, of course. So this recommendation of a fictional character was, so the character's IP remains with the content creator. So in this case, the viral fever. It is a recommendation that this character would be good for you, not the real person. So that would fall in the category of influencer or a brand ambassador. So there are different kinds of brand partnerships that happen, some with influencers, some with the content, etc. So that's why those separate categories.
Okay, and another question, like, is it just an experiment project or it is like a complete product?
We are a funny story. We started off as a project in a hackathon, but we are slowly taking it towards a product that can actually solve for business case scenarios. We are talking to a few companies to provide them the product as a pilot, so that we can test and make it better for the use case that they are looking to solve through it. Yes, Pragyan, we are also looking to provide the contacts of the influencers. There was an option there I forgot to mention, that yes, so the contact of the content IP owner, the contact of the influencer or ambassador that you're looking to talk to, budget criterias, etc. These are also some of the things that we are very soon going to integrate into the product. We are also looking to provide like proper campaigns that could be by generating some of the imagery associated suggestions for, in the case of shows, that what could be a possible way to integrate the brand within the show, within the storyline, those kind of recommendations, and refine it more and more to solve the marketers particular use cases.
Yeah, okay. So if we talk about the target audience, and if I give you options like option A, small business owners, and then option B, a mid-cap business, and then option C is the large company or a brand that is well established, and option D is all of the above, what would be your target audience?
At the moment, it is option D. We are open to all use cases, trying to solve for all of them. As we continue in this journey, probably we could zero down on a particular segment.
Okay, currently you are not open for any kind of small business or a mid-cap business.
No, we are open to conversations with small and medium cap owners as well. Yeah, happy to talk and solve their use case.
Okay, but when I look into the demo, you are like giving examples of Adidas and big brands.
We could try a smaller brand as well. It's a fictional brand as well. Anything. Those were just for reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you show me a demo like where you are using a small brand name and then?
Happy to show. We could connect further, and for your particular brand also we can demo this and show.
Yeah, sure. My career is to, like, I'm a small business owner.
Okay.
That is just like 3 months ago started. So
okay.
I was just curious, like it.
Yes,
like
it can serve your use case.
Yeah, if I'm like looking for influencer marketing, will it show the same influencers like Kriti Sanon and
No. So as I said, this was the zero version. In the version that we are building right now, we have categories and budget criterias built in. So nano influencers, which are like for serving a small geography or anything particular like that, would be accounted for within the query. Yeah. So in that, this is a very rough zero version that we showed here, because the version after this is in development right now. Yeah.
Okay. Is it Stellar Labs?
Yeah, Stellar Labs, where we are building a host of such tools. This is StellarKast, and there are some other use cases also that we are trying to solve for.
Yeah. Okay, Shubham. Thank you so much. Nice to talk to you.
So, Shubham, I have a question, although a lot of them were already asked by Saurabh. So, just one question, I don't know if you have already covered. How are you planning to monetize this? So, the person who is searching will be the one paying, or you will take a cut, or how is that plan?
So right now we are looking to do a subscription offering to the IP owners and the influencers or ambassadors, so that they are pushed more in the results. Like for example, somebody is looking to do a content partnership with for a fast moving bike, and he has a Marvel character in mind, but if DC is our subscriber, then we offer them Flash, which also could serve their use case. So we are looking to do a subscription offering to content IP owners and influencers and ambassadors.
So they pay you a subscription fee, the content creators, basically.
Yes, for getting them business, for being able to monetize their IP more, or being able to monetize their influence more. Right now, so while they would be our customer, the user would be the brand marketers for whom it has to become a tool that really solves their problem. So we're building both for these ends, because it's a partnership.
And what happens once, let's say, I see few options and I like option number B? What happens then from your platform?
So we provide the contact for the relevant person at the and take that conversation forward within the system itself. Yeah, so that we are able to gauge the outcomes of the partnership.
Okay, good. I have something that I'm working on, which is after let's say someone has selected that, okay, this is the person I want to go with. Now, what is the next step that I want to do? I am working on around those lines. I'll connect with you. That email Shubham8742 is the right one.
Yes.
I'll drop an email to you.
Thank you so much. Nikhil, would make sense. So does this have small micro bloggers as well? Also, does it have platform content creators or platforms like Twitter, TikTok, others? Yeah, we are looking to like if you're looking to market on a particular platform, we are looking to add that option in as well, like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc. How will micro nano influencers pay you? Why will they trust you? Shouldn't be monetized from their end, in my opinion. Yeah, we are open to discussions on this. We are looking to take a percentage of some of the deals that happen, those kind of things. Thank you for your opinion, Akshay. Pricing is still not set in stone. Yeah, pricing is still not set in stone, so we are solving for this at the moment.
I guess that's it. No more questions for Shubham. Thanks, Shubham, for showcasing your product and answering all those questions. I hope you found it really useful, and
thank you
for your
no product. Definitely. thank you so much for doing this and having us here. Very inspiring from both Siddharth and the team at Codio. We are happy to connect with anyone after this to take this
Sure,
forward.
sure. So we'll be having more such further events. So first of all, I would like to thank every participant who took out time on Sunday and joined this event. So we are planning to host many more events, not just in generative AI, but in other domains as well. And as I mentioned, we have already launched our platform also. So just final thoughts about Wyse. So we are not just a product. So Wyse is a movement that is driven by passion to revolutionize the networking industry. So we feel there's a big white space in the professional networking right now, in spite of having very big giants and very big players in the market. We feel that networking can be democratized, and there is a better way for networking for the professionals, and that is through communities. So thank you guys, everyone. Thanks everyone. And last thing I would like to request, if you found this useful and helpful for your business or for your personal development, do give a shout out about this event. I have dropped my the Twitter handle of Wyse, our app link, and LinkedIn. So do tag us wherever you give a shout about this event, and happy to have you in the next couple of events as well. Cool, guys.
Hi, Sayam.
Hi, Saurabh.
Yeah, actually, I was looking at your product that is Wyse a couple of weeks back. So
Correct.
I actually had some questions in the beginning of the session, but you didn't ask for the question, so I didn't really question.
Got it, got
So
it.
can I ask it
That's
right
a good feedback. We can take up the questions.
now?
If you have any questions for me.
Actually, is it open for everyone, the Wyse, your product?
Yep. So it is open for only the white collar working professionals right now, and like that is automated. You have to put in your LinkedIn profile, and that automatically fetches all your data and all your experience so far. And depending on that, the model automatically suggests you a couple of communities wherein you can be a part of.
Okay, so that's create a barrier, like for the unauthorized people, which are not
Exactly. Unauthorized people
really.
can't join in.
Okay, okay, yeah, that answered my all the questions. Yeah, thank you, Sayam. Hope for the
Cool,
best.
guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop me a message on LinkedIn. I am happy to take up any questions or any doubts if you have, and would love to have your feedback and a shout out about this event. It really helps us also and keeps us going. Cool, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Happy Sunday. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Sayam is sorry, I think. Hey, hi, sir. Pragyan this side now.
Yeah, hi, Pragyan.
Hey, just a quick question. Like, let's say these folks they gave this showcase on generative AI products. So, like, let's say if I, being an individual, even I want to like, what's the process? Like, if I want to also reach that platform or and want to do a showcase, so.
Got it. So we have.
Yeah, guide me the process on that.
Sure, sure. I'll share the link with you, and thanks for reminding me. I missed this part.
No worries, yeah, no worries.
I always share that link for the people who wish to be a part of a showcase.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's a great initiative. Yeah. Matlab, it gives a lot of idea about how your product is. And
so I've dropped in the link if
okay,
you wish to showcase your product.
got it. Cool. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you so much.